Hello, my name is Roy Poyan. I'm the Director of Families Impacted by Opioids. I'm a chemical dependency counselor assistant and a certified mental health coach. Today we're going to be going over the next step in developing your Invest in the Family Ministries model. Now, up to date, we've met with leadership and we created the concept of serving the needs of families in your congregation and community with a families impacted by opioids model. And with that in mind, it's specifically addressing the needs of families to have education and knowledge about living a life as a family with the substance use disorders, because this disease does not go away and they need to understand a lot of different issues. We include that to this part of the ministry. And what we're going to be doing is developing a structure and a strategy and a process around one, they're educated, getting educated about the issues they'll face. There's about 32 of them that we go into. And then two, spiritual arcs. And that's the part of the program of the ministry where we're taking time to take a look with them in a self-examination. And when they're not in the meetings, they would be doing homework assignments based on developing their interest in how they're developing their willingness to serve God as a member of the family as the family addresses addiction. So it's kind of like, where's God in all this? The question is, where are you with God in all of this? Because that's where you will find where is God in this as far as each individual family member. So with this in mind, we're going to turn to the page of 25 and we're going to identify that we have structure. And with structure, we mean that we have titled positions with roles and responsibilities. That's what defines structure. The structure is not defined by the fact that you have a ministry or that the ministry is titled, this name. The structure is actually inside the roles and responsibilities of the different titled positions that help run this particular ministry. So let's get into that. What are they? Well, if you join me on page 24, you'll find that this organization chart states that there's a ministry leader, there's a ministry volunteer administrator, there's a ministry trainer, and then there's pathfinder guides. And all of these are positions that people from within your congregation can volunteer and then learn, well, I'd like to be the ministry leader. What's my role and what's my responsibility? Here's the beauty of this. The purpose of having a roles and responsibility with a title means that regardless of what year you're in and who's that person in that role, the actual structure will force the organization to be consistent. It'll always be producing the right level of content. And that's important because some organizations, they get tied up with, Barbara's really good and she's got everybody involved, and that's good. I mean, that's a good sign of a great volunteer. But Barbara shouldn't have to think of the content of what she's using based on her understanding, based on her personality and past experiences. It needs to be empirically proven, science-based, and appropriate to your spiritual faith practice, and that can be determined as content. And with the roles and responsibilities of them using this content, we can be assured that week in and week out, month after month out, year after year, it will be the quality that we want it to be, regardless of who's in the different roles. And for this reason, we're going to go into the different page 26, and please follow me along. You can find this as a PDF on our website, familiesimpactedbyopioids.com. You can order it on Amazon.com, Invest in the Family Ministries, or hopefully your leadership team has purchased books and they've provided this for you. Either way, catch up with this and get it in front of you when you're viewing these introduction videos for each next meeting. So with that in mind, the ministry leader is discussed, and the role and responsibilities, and that's on page 6, excuse me. And then on page 28, we have the ministry leader's responsibilities, then moving into the ministry administrator and what their roles and responsibilities are. And then we move into a description of how we administrate the volunteers, and then how the administrator does their role, and then the trainer and how the trainer does their role, and then the Pathfinder, and how the Pathfinder guide does their role and the responsibilities they have as the Pathfinder roles and responsibilities. And that pretty much takes us into, what is a meeting agenda, and because these are the people that will run the meeting, and then we're going to start to look at, in our next session, meaning the next meeting of developing your model, it'll be on the topic of how do we develop our volunteers. See, the volunteers are a very important part. They're like Jesus saying to the disciples, I've given you knowledge, now go out and spread it and show it to other people. We're going to spend a lot of time and effort, especially in the beginning, developing our volunteers so that they're really spot on and they understand the material and they understand how to use Sparks, the Spiritual Arcs program, which is the part of the ministry model that addresses the spiritual needs of each family member. I'm excited about this. I hope you are too, and I look forward to our meeting. Bring questions, say prayers before the meeting, that the Lord opens us up and helps us to understand His will as we seek to serve Him.